Hey everyone, Felipe here. Welcome to another Tower of Saviors GNN review video. This week we're going to have a new power release for an old series, and this is going to be the power release for the Surreal Blossom series, which is going to be the Yen and Shi light and dark attributes that you see on screen. I have not taken a look at this GNN, so you are going to get my unedited reaction to their skills. So without further ado, let's take a look at the GNN news. So we also have news about a new Nightmare Lord, Ignipotent Wings, She, Surreal Blossom's power release, as well as a new joint operation. So now the first thing here we have the Nightmare Lord, which is going to be Ignipotent Wings, She, which looks like a fire attribute. Because of the artwork, Nightmare Stage, this will open next Tuesday, September 13th, for all of us to challenge. So we have a leader skill when the team has only Yenshi members or demons. We have a team attack times 7, HP and recovery times 1.8, as well as 3 extra seconds of movement time. And if the team has 2 or more races, team attack times 2 additional. Honestly, this leader skill seems a little bit weak. So in terms of Yenshi series, she might be a good leader, but overall the Yenshi series is not that powerful right now. But actually, since we are getting the power release version of the Surreal Blossom series, maybe they can become really good leaders as well. And in that case, I don't know, Ignipotent She might see a place there. But as a leader itself, it's okay. But attack times 7 is pretty standard. The 3 seconds is pretty nice, and the times 2 additionally is also going to be really good, but that will require you to run a god or another race of Yanxi, because your leader skill requires Yanxi or demons. But if you're running mono demon, you don't benefit from the 2 races, so you have to run another Yanxi member. But yeah, so for the team skill, we have when the leader is Ignipotent Wings C, you get 3 extra runes of movement times regardlessly. You get a +3 combo count if you dissolve water runes, not first batch. You get a team attack times 3 if you dissolve fire runes. And if you dissolve heart runes, Yenshi members have a times 3 attack bonus, a skill CD of -1, as well as Yenshi members get an HP, attack, and recovery basic value of times. Okay, so ignore the part I said where her leader skill is not that good, because her team skill actually has a lot of multipliers for a Yenshi team. And given how Madhead has been releasing more Yenshi members over the course of the years, you can potentially build a pretty decent Yenshi team. The only thing is, Yenshi members don't have that much seal breaking potentials overall, but there are some, like the dark version she can ignore initial shield and things like that. So it is possible to build a full Yenshi team, but I do think it might be more of a meme team rather than a tier 0 meta team, because the multipliers are pretty low, but Yenshi members do get a pretty big attack boost, especially if you get your heart runes, your fire runes, and if you're running 2 or more members in the team, you do get a lot of multiplier skills if you're running Ignipotent Wings She. So overall, as a leader, I think she's pretty okay. She is multiplier on multiplier, so you will need to rely on your members to bring utility to the team. But overall, her damage should be comparable for mid to late game stages. Not definitely like Nightmare stages or Calamitous stages, definitely not. Especially because all the enemy skills that you will encounter. But generally, I do think she might be a pretty good leader for mid-level stages as well as like early end game stages, in my opinion. So she doesn't look that bad. Uh, whether to farm her or not will depend on how hard her Nightmare stage is, which normally it shouldn't be too bad, but I do think it will be pretty doable to get her. Uh, and it seems that Madhead is still going to release more Yenshi members and Yenshi support, so getting more Yenshi to expand your pool of options might be a pretty good thing, in my opinion. So now let's take a look at her active skill. It is a cooldown 6 active skill and has the following effects. Release the lock skill of Yanxi members. Nice. Yanxi members, God members, and Demon members, damage will be dealt regardless of Trio and Quintet Elemental Shield. God and Demon attack increases by 1.8, and the attack of Yanxi members increases by 2.5 times. Honestly, this is a pretty good skill. At CD6, that is really nice. That's pretty standard, pretty short. And releasing skills, very useful. The unfortunate thing is that it locks itself to Yanxi members. So you're not releasing all of them unless you're running like a mono Yanxi team. But being able to release your skills is going to be really good, especially if the enemy also blocks your attack with their locks. So if they also lock your attack, releasing your lock skills will allow you to launch attacks as well. This card can also potentially fit outside of Yanxi teams because it does allow you to break Trio and Quintet Elemental Shield for Yanxi, Gods, and Demons. And that second effect might come to play every so often because you might be able to boost or ignore these shields for other leaders other than Yanxi leaders. And you also get a 1.8 attack bonus for God and Demons, so it is not only a shield breaker but also a attack booster shield breaker. So honestly, not a bad card. Definitely a really good card for a Yanxi team, especially with a 2.5 attack bonus for Yanxi members, as well as the release of Yanxi members. But overall, it can still be used for other God and Demon teams. But her real potential will shine with a Yanxi leader and ally, in my opinion, which we don't have right now unless the power release that they just released down here turns out to be super good. Yeah, because not only you're ignoring Trio, Quintet, you're boosting your attack, but also Yanxi benefits from additional attack bonus. But yeah, before we move on, in terms of general utility, she is average. She will help you with certain enemy skills like Trio and Quintet because you also boost your attack, so you are dealing more damage, and that is also very useful rather than just having the shield break itself. Being able to boost your damage also guarantees that you kill the enemy and you don't have to ignore that shield again in 2 rounds. Because more often than not, if you fail to kill the enemy, you are left without a way to break that shield. And sometimes that means you die. So if you are going to ignore a shield that's very annoying to break, you better kill the enemy. Otherwise, you have to ignore it again somehow, and you might not have a way to do it. So having an attack boost definitely will help with that. So in my opinion, I do think her active skill is pretty useful, but it can still be replaced by other cards in the game that are that give you a higher attack boosts. But overall, for a Yanxi team, I do think it's a pretty good active skill. Okay, yeah, I'm not gonna ramble too much on her. I do think she's pretty good. I will farm her, but yeah, we'll see after checking the power release of the Surreal Blossom series. So this series was an original collector's deck series where they were, I think, yes, it is the collector's deck, Yanxi. So these two cards were two black gold cards that were released in a collector's deck and not in the general seal. So they were pretty hard to get in my opinion unless you ran out the collector's deck. But back then the collector's deck had more characters than materials. So it was still kind of worth it to get. But I am glad to see that they are getting a power release because they were pretty good cards and they're still pretty good support cards, especially Light Yen. She did have a good continuous buff effect that sometimes still sees play nowadays. And I recently used her in one of the teams to ignore initial shield, but her getting a power release version is also going to be pretty good. For context too, they were a really well played leader and ally duo. So you would run either Shi with Yen or Yen as a leader and ally your Shi. But as the meta developed, they became more of a support card. But now they have a power release. I'm excited to see what they have become and what buffs they are bringing to the table. So now let's take a look. Oh, we have a team skill. When the leader is Yanxi and the ally is Wonder Musical, so I'm guessing it's them too. Mm, yeah, so okay. When the leader is either one of them and the ally is the other one, you have extra runestone movement time of 3 seconds. Sticky will be nullified. Runestone movement will be not stopped when laser is touched. God's HP and recovery value increases by 1.5. Genshi members skill CD -8 after entering the stage. Nice. And at the beginning of the round and at the end of each round, turn one runestone of each attribute into enchanted god runes. By dissolving 3 types of runestones, team attack increases by 6 times, and the attack of Yenshi members increases by 2 times. So this is interesting because I think this was the active skill of Light Yen. The ability to generate one. Actually, no. But anyways, this is a really good team skill. Um, for context too, both of them are god members, so like dark god and a light god. So this part makes sense. You are recovering your HP and recovery for all gods by 1.5 times. The first 3 is going to be a really nice quality of life um, passive skill for your Yanxi teams because you have extra movement time, you don't get stopped by sticky, and laser runs. So that's fine. The skills cooldown -8, that's amazing because that will allow you to activate your Light Yen from the get-go, and she is a continuous buffer, and we'll have to see what improvements they made to the active skill, but that's still a really good skill cooldown -8 means that most of the skills in the game will be ready from the get-go. Because most of the skills are CD6, really good skills are like CD9, but on average, like more powerful skills are going to be cooldown 8. So being able to reduce your cooldown by 8 means that most of the skills are available to you, and it's going to make the stage slightly easier, especially for calamitous stages and things like that where it might be a little bit more annoying to deal with the enemy unless you can activate skills from the beginning. Yeah, so also team attack times 6 just by dissolving 3 types of runestones. That's a really easy condition to hit, and getting a times 6 attack bonus is going to be really massive. But yeah, now let's take a look at the leader skill of both of them. So for Golden Arcadia Yenshi, I guess Matt had decided to go away with separating Yenshi between Yen and Shi and just making them all Yenshi, I guess. Actually, no, that's not true because Ignipotent Wings was just Shi. Anyways, but yeah, Golden Arcadia Yenshi. God members and Yenshi members have an attack boost of 7 times, HP and recovery of 1.5, when the team has only Yenshi, Light, and Dark members. Team attack times 3.5 additionally, and HP times 1.2 additionally. Dark and Hard runes also possess the effect of Light runes. By dissolving Enchanted runes, damage received -40%, and by dissolving Race runes, your combo count increases by 3 times. In my opinion, this is a really good active leader skill because you have 7 times attack bonus, which is pretty standard nowadays, but you also have a 3.5 attack boost for Yenshi Light and Dark members. If you're not running this condition, don't do it. You have to run Light and Dark members with Yenshi because you don't want to break your team skill. So that's good, but on the plus side is that this second skill is not broken with running other races. Um, you only need to run Light and Dark members, and in my opinion, Light and Dark members have the most support in the game with utility boosters, buffers, shield breakers, and things like that. They have a lot of utility included, so that will give you a lot of flexibility when building your team for Golden Arcadia Yenshi. Yeah. This also means that you can run Ignipotent Wings Shi, but because you're team heavily depends on light and dark runes, I wouldn't bring a fire card to your team, I don't think. But yeah, dissolving enchanted runes, that is fine. You get a minus 40% damage reduction. And also by dissolving erase runes, you get combo count plus 3. And this is going to be really, really easy to hit because of your team skill right here at the beginning and at the end of each round. You are turning one runestone into enchanted god runes, which will satisfy both the damage reduction as well as the combo increase condition. So that's really good. And runestone possession effect means that you are not going to suffer that much from runestone drought, in my opinion. So overall, I do think this is a pretty good active leader skill, and definitely a good leader skill for the current meta, in my opinion. But yeah, now let's take a look at the active skill before we look at Wonderland Musical. This is a skill cooldown 8, which um, remains skill cooldown 8. Yenshi members and god members attack and recovery times 2. Upon skill activation and at the end of the round, turn light and dark runes of Yen and runestones of Yenshi members into enchanted god runes. And this is a constant buff effect. So honestly, the most important part is going to be your attack and recovery times 2. That is going to be your continuous effect to buff your entire team. Um, if you're running Yenshi members or god members only. And even though you can bring other races, you do still want to run a mono god team to boost all your multipliers and all your benefit from all your leader skills. And luckily, god cards also have a lot of utility, so you're probably not going to run out of utility cards with the god race. Especially for light and dark gods, you have a lot of options. Skill stays in play until deactivation or defeated. I wish they gave this a deactivation. Um, yes, you can deactivate the skill, but you cannot deactivate at any time. And that was one of the big things why I'm not running this card anymore, is because you cannot deactivate it whenever. Which means that if you deactivate it, it has to be 8 rounds later, and it will consume your active skill again, and you have to wait 8 more rounds to activate it again. That being said, um, her activation requirement or her deactivation skill is not bad. Uh, just looking at it, it does say clear all additional effects, which is good. Oh, okay, no. Eh, that makes it a little bit better. Upon deactivation of the skill, clear all additional effects in play. For each effect, clear skill cooldowns of god members -2. So this is a guaranteed -2 for your cooldowns because it clears your own effect. Hmm, does that count? I don't know. If it counts your own active skill being cleared, then this is a guaranteed -2. And then explode all runes to generate enchanted god runes. That's a secondary effect. Honestly, hmm, hmm, interesting. Let me think. I think the way you want to run this card is, or the way you normally run this card is that once you activate the buff, you don't have to deactivate it because that's just an unconditional ×2 attack for your entire team. That's honestly pretty good. But if you encounter a very annoying stage where you have like 5 rounds of fatigue, this can actually remove the fatigue and allow you to attack directly, which is going to be really good. And so if you need to clear additional effects, that's a guaranteed -2 if there's already one effect. And if you have more than that, you can basically reset your entire team's skill if you have a lot of effects active. I feel like you could potentially, you could artificially make, wait, this could be really good. If you have a card that will put all your team in Hyperstate, you could use this card to get rid of all your hyperstates and then reset the cooldowns of all your other team members, including the hyperstate card, which will allow you to activate it again. That's a thought, but without being able to test it, that's going to be difficult. The explosion, pretty nice, generate enchanted god runes. That's going to be random, so not as useful, but it does generate enchanted god runes for you to deal more damage as well as trigger your leader skill. But yeah, the deactivation skill is definitely not bad. Um, and this card is pretty good as a constant buffer, because ×2 attack is definitely worth running in your team, even if it's CD8. Especially for cards like Nasoy that needs effect in play, this one might be a pretty good option for you to have in your team. But yeah, so I do think she is a pretty good card. And next we have Wonderland Musical Yanxi. So for the leader skill, we have God and Yanxi members, same thing. Attack times 7, HP and recovery times 1.5. When the team has only Yanxi, Light and Dark members, team attacks times 3.5, HP times 1.2 additionally, and by dissolving Light and Heart runes, or Light and Heart runes also possess the effect of Dark runes. And basically the leader skill is the same. It just wonder if you run one or the other. Uh, but basically you run, if you only have Yanxi, then you can run the other one and get the same effect. Yeah, actually it's the same thing. There's no real benefit of running one over the other because it's literally the same leader skill and the team skill is the same no matter which one you have as a leader. So honestly, not bad. Honestly, that's pretty nice. And actually, yeah, that's really nice because collector decks are usually not that diamond efficient. Like they're not really worth, especially if the prizes are like, I don't know, harpies, mat heads, things like that. I spending 5 diamonds for one mat head is not worth, in my opinion. So if you don't have these cards and you want them, or you don't want to miss out, and you're not a super collector, I guess, you could just get one of them, and then with that you can play a Yenshin team, because the other ally you can use the one that you're missing. So honestly, that's pretty nice. But yeah, same leader skill. Now let's take a look at the active skill. CD5, same thing. Ooh, restore the cracked positions in the columns below Genshi and gods. That is so good. Wait, that is amazing. So, god members are lacking a way of countering cracked runes. There are some options, but this one, if you are running a mono god team, this will fully clear your board of cracked runes, and that is so good at CD5. Oh, that's really, really good. Explore water, explore fire, explore earth to generate enchanted god, light, dark, and heart runes. Yanxi members and god members will deal damage regardless of initial shield and defense, so that stays the same. And each one will launch 3 extra attacks, 1 water, 1 fire, 1 earth, as much as 25% of its own attack. Ooh, I mean, this is nice to break the 5 attribute damage shield. So for enemies that need to take damage from 5 different attributes before they can take full damage, is going to be really nice. In terms of extra attacks, as far as extra damage counts, 25% is pretty low. That being said, everyone is launching 3 extra attacks at 25%. So basically, this is going to be a 75% attack increase if you are running a full god team, because every member is launching 75% extra damage. So not bad, but it's still something. It's not like as much as a ×2 sorry, a times 2 attack bonus, but being able to launch 3 extra attacks is pretty good, especially because it is regardless of defense, so you're dealing true damage no matter what the defense of the enemy is. But yeah, overall, I do think this card is so good because of the utility that comes with her. Uh, right now, whenever I run her for breaking initial shield because she is one of the fastest initial shield breakers. But now you are telling me that she gets rid of crack runes. That is also really, really good in my opinion. So definitely worth getting this card. And then, okay, next thing is joint operation. So yeah, definitely worth getting Wonder Musical Yenshi because her active skill is really good. And you don't need Golden Arcadia because you can run her as an ally and you can just rely on someone else to get her. That being said, if you only get Golden Arcadia and you're trying to save diamonds, I will say just stick with Golden Arcadia and run Wonder Musical as your ally, and that is still going to give you the full benefit of the Yanxi team. The only thing is that you don't have Wonder Musical in your inventory, but I do think Madhead is going to release more cards that can counter crack positions as well as initial shield. So it's just a matter of time until you find a way to get around those things. But there are other ways that you can get around crack runes. For example, if you bring chaos, you add 3 more rows to the board that don't have crack runes, so you can spin freely over there. You can bring a board refresh, things like that. So if you don't get her, don't worry about it. It should be okay. Um, but yeah, the fact that this is tied to a collector's deck makes it a little bit more rip. Just because collector's decks aren't that diamond efficient nowadays, in my opinion. Because you are spending like 5 diamonds for like a Aqua Essence runestone, yeah, Aqua Essence, or like a Harpy, or like a Harpy Knight, or a Mat Head. And honestly, if you're spending 5 diamonds, it might be better to get a character rather than a material. But that's just me. I do think these cards are pretty powerful. Um, it seems that Madhead has been releasing more Yenshi support recently, which maybe they want to make the Yenshi archetype a little bit better, in which case having a leader and ally that can take advantage of Yenshi members might be a good thing. That being said, if you don't have them and you don't have that many diamonds, it might be better to wait for the next collaboration or wait for the next black gold card because they are actually a little bit restrictive in their team building setups because you are relying mostly on god members as well as Yenshi members. Yenshi members, there are less than 10, I think. Actually, there's more than 10, but their pool is pretty small in the grand scheme of things. And god cards, or only being able to run a mono god team, some players might not have that many god cards in their inventory. So depending on your inventory, it might be worth pulling for them, but it also might be worth waiting for the next collaboration or the next black gold card, mostly because I don't think it's a good idea to spend 5 diamonds for a single Mad Head, and it might be better to spend those 5 diamonds in getting a non-jackpot card, but at the very least you're getting a new character, right? So those are my thoughts. Different players have their different circumstances, so depending on your circumstance, you might want to pull or might decide to skip. But yeah, next thing we have the joint operation, which is going to be Blood and Brood Talents. So Macabre Critter Vapula is going to be releasing a new joint operation. And joint operations are pretty nice because you can easily get the featured card as well as many fun rewards like harpies, soul stones, souls, things like that. But yeah, so now let's take a look at the main character, which is going to be a cooldown 7 skill. Explode hearts, electrified runes, and frozen runes to generate beast runes of the leader's attribute. For 1 round, runestones of the leader's attribute can be dissolved singly or in groups of 2 in the first batch. Honestly, not a bad skill. CD7, a little bit higher than the average CD6. Still pretty okay, but I do think it is going to be a very situational card. Actually, situational in the fact that you can explode electrified and frozen runes. You might be able to explode a lot of heart runes, which is also... Actually, you know what? This card is really good for a Caesar team, because Caesar uses every runestone as attacking runes except for heart runes. Yeah, if you... or... yeah. Caesar has runestone possession effect for attributes in his team, which means that heart runes are never his attacking runes. So if you can explode heart runes, now you have a full board of attacking runes, and your water runes can be dissolved in single members. And honestly, I do think that is going to be one of the main uses for this skill. It's to break high combo shields with the single dissolve. So the single dissolve will allow you to spin easier, get more combos, and as well more damage. So being able to explode heart runes will mean you get more combos and more damage from this skill. So honestly, I do think this is a pretty good skill, especially for a joint operation card. It's not going to be super useful, but I do think it is going to be a pretty good addition to your beast inventory pool, because it does carry some utility, especially for electrified runes, frozen runes. But also the single dissolve will be pretty good, especially because there are beast runes, and that is going to carry up a little bit a higher multiplier for your attacking members. So overall, not a bad card, definitely good. And we have an exclusive Dragonware for them. For Dark Beasts only. Ooh, okay, definitely get it. No matter what, get this. Get this craft, because reducing your cooldown by 2 after entering the stage is such a good skill. No matter what card you're running, if you can reduce their cooldown with a craft, that just makes it so much better, because your skills are faster and you can kill the enemy faster. So honestly, in my opinion, Dragon wares that can reduce your cooldowns are the most used, because your active skills will be ready faster, and a lot of enemies nowadays may require an active skill to break. And yeah, being able to activate it faster means you kill the enemy faster. But yeah, regardless of puzzle shield, I mean, sure. Uh, I do think this is fine, but you might as well run other crafts with your leader, because like delaying enemies for 2 rounds or breaking initial shield or other Dragoncraft skills might be better than Puzzle Shield, but you could still run this Mortiferous Scythe pattern on your leader, but you are locked to Dark Beast only. So honestly, this is a pretty good Dragoncraft for a Dark Beast member. So definitely, even if you don't have a really good guild, just spend your uh, stamina, no, not stamina, vigor, no, not vigor, spirit on the joint operation, because this craft is worth even further down the line whenever they release a really good Dark Beast. Being able to reduce their cooldown by 2 is going to be so good. So yeah, definitely recommend getting this Dragonware. Ooh, we have more Battle Pass. The Dragon of Lethality. So, okay, new Battle Pass card. I mean, this leader skill is kind of trash, so I'm not gonna go through it. Team attack times 5, dragon attack times 5. I mean, that's low for meta standards and it's super restrictive. So definitely don't. Yeah, no. This is a really bad. This is a really bad leader skill. Just don't run it as a leader unless you are just starting with the game and the stages are super easy. But that is fine. Active skills CD4. Okay. Ah, Interesting. Interesting. So he's a CD4 sniper, which is not bad. Um, yeah, this multiplier thing doesn't matter because sniper damage will never be super significant in the grand scheme of things. But they will help get rid of stealth shield, and that is pretty good. CD4, it's pretty quick. And the second, third, and fourth effect turn the top row into earth, bottom row into dark. If you're running a mono dark team, a mono dragon team, you have all odd rows become earth runes and all even rows become dark runes. I'm guessing this one will take precedence because the fifth row is the bottom row, and that means that it's technically dark, but I guess, yeah, it probably doesn't matter. It probably, if you're running a mono dragon, you get a full board convert, which means that it is going to be easier to spin, and it is also going to be super easy to get 10 combos because you can just actually 10 combos? No, 9 combos. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 combos. Because you only have 4 groups of dark runes, which means that you have to stagger them, which means that you only get 8 combos. But it is really easy to hit in 8 combos initial batch with this skill because it is a fixed board for you to spin. At CD4, that is going to be pretty huge. That being said, I don't think of any team that could benefit super well from this skill. Maybe a Yulia team could benefit from it, but there's no reason for her to use the dark runes. She would only be interested in the earth runes, which actually CD4, even if you generate dark runes, CD4 might be worth running in a Yulia team. So not bad. CD4 a pretty fast skill with a snipe and a convert. Not super broken. Yes, it is fast, but there isn't much utility to it, and you can have other cards replace it that can help break enemy shields and things like that. But yeah, unlock the frame as well as the Dragoncraft. Ooh, the new wait, outfit Ashenix. What is this? Oh, this is for you if you wanna buy the premium battle pass. You get a dual max. You get a outfit. Okay, if you're free to play, don't worry about the battle pass. It's definitely not worth. But if you like Lithonix and you want the skin, go for it. Oh yeah, a dragon word, Leothorn's spell. Let's see. Dragon War skill 1, damage received minus 10%. Dragon War skill, okay, and upon activation, attack the skills. Honestly, not a broken craft. Um, in my opinion, not worth paying for the premium price to get this Dragonware. But if you're paying for the premium battle pass or the other rewards, then I think it might be worth. But if not, I would save your real money for other purchases and other events, in my opinion. But yes. Ooh, we have more. Oh, I thought, oh god, we have more. Okay, so this is going to be Crystal Octavius, Murky Oculus. So I think this is a new series, the Crystal Octavius, which is a new series for the bi-weekly stages. Uh, but yeah, so we have Mick, which is a Dark Elf, CD6. Turn the 3 columns on the right into light, dark, and hearts of fixed numbers and fixed position. Other Crystal Octavius members, skill cooldown -2. For 2 rounds, all runestones possess the effect of dark runes, and combo count increases by 3 times. Honestly, this is not bad. Um, if we have a really good Crystal Octavius card. This one might not be bad. The fixed convert is going to be situational, but has its potential uses. The skill cooldown is going to be great depending on what the other Crystal Octavius members' active skills are, but it has potential. As well as Runestone Position Effect for attacking runes and combo count +3. However, right now, we don't really have a leader that could take advantage of this too much. Maybe Earth Daji. Melody doesn't need combo count. So the main use for this is going to be that +3 combo count for 2 rounds, because it will help you break combo shields, as well as generating a fixed board on the right to help you spin faster, or spin easier. But overall, this card doesn't really have any attack multipliers or shield breaking potential. The main core of it is going, or the main use in my opinion, is probably going to be the +3 combo count, which is not bad, especially for an elf team. Elf teams don't really have a constant combo increaser, so like a multiple rounds combo increaser, unless it is their own team skill and things like that. So having this might be pretty good, but the thing is there are other options as well that can both increase your attack as well as increase your combo count. For example, Cornflower, or other cards that they may release in the future. And it's hard to say whether the second skill is useful because we don't really have that many Crystal Octavius cards in the game yet. So it is kind of hard to say whether this part will be really useful or not. But overall, the skill is pretty average. Like, it's not bad, but it's also not good. You can run it, but there are better options. But it is not, but it isn't like trash where you definitely don't want to run it. I can see some uses for it maybe. Um, she also has a bonding skill, so you definitely want to bring Mick to dual max to benefit from these two bonding skills, which actually might not, but might be really useful, especially for Frederick, because you can increase your combo count even further by dissolving character runes. So definitely a good thing if you have Frederick to dual max this bi-weekly card, especially because bi-weekly cards are easy stages, so they're not the hardest to farm. So getting them at dual max might be pretty doable. Okay, yeah, we finally. Oh god, that was a lot of cards I did not expect to have in a single GNN. I thought this was going to be one of those like chill weeks where we have like 3 announcements and that's it. But we end up having a lot of announcements, which was pretty unexpected. But I do think we have some pretty exciting things coming out, especially with the power release of the new collector's deck. But yeah, that's yeah, those are my thoughts. Hopefully, they help you put things into perspective, as well as give you some tips on how to run things, or what teams to run, or whether you should pull for these cards or not. And yeah, that's all I wanted to say. Please let me know in the comments if I missed anything or said anything wrong, or if you have any ideas for other Tower of Saviors content. Feel free to suggest them, and I'll listen to it and potentially create that content for you. But yeah, don't forget to check my YouTube channel. I generally post clear videos, card reviews, and potentially tips and tricks in the future once I get a good recording software. But not recording, like a video editing software. I'm planning on doing like guides and things like that. So keep tuned on my YouTube channel for those. But yeah, as always, stay safe, stay healthy, and I will see you next time. Bye everyone.